What is going on, everybody? We are back on it. Hunter episode 71. We're at the climax of this little Nen dodgeball battle we got going on here for all the marbles. We got Razor versus a trio of Gon, Killua, Hisoka. I'm guessing they have to win, right? Um, so the question is, how do they win? Do all three of them stay in and defeat him? Um, does Hisoka have to sacrifice himself getting tagged out so the other two can have a chance to? Um, It'd be interesting to see. I'm also interested to see when Gon's kind of like bullheaded slash stubbornness ever kind of comes back to bite him, you know? Because it hasn't yet. I mean, we saw it against Hanzo when he ended up with a broken arm and refusing to quit. And we've seen it with a couple other examples, and like we saw it here, him not agreeing to let kind of somebody else hold the ball, mostly because they can't. But we've seen like his bullheadedness with like, I'm gonna rescue Killua, like I'm gonna go through these doors, and I'm gonna get past Canary, and it gets her punished, and I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, regardless of like the consequences or what it might lead to or be. And it's always turned out on like the good side for Gon, like, wow, his determination and stubbornness, what passion he has. It's like it always pays off. So I'm interested to see, and I hope it gets written in somewhere where his like bullheadedness and drive ends up being something that hurts him or hurts his friends or backfires or maybe even gets somebody close to him killed. Because like we've seen that with other like anime characters as well. Naruto, for example, like I'm always gonna rescue my friends no matter what. I can't think of a Naruto example like where it didn't work out because of that. We've seen things with like Deku willing to sacrifice his body regardless, and he's ended up with like permanently scarred limbs. We've seen Goku with his stubborn-headedness sacrificing his young teenage son to fight Cell, and all these other kind of like things. So I'm interested to see where Gon's tipping point is of where it like comes back to like hurt him. Um, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start it. We've skipped through the intro. We are a minute and 53 seconds in on episode 71. Pressing play right now. Bargain and deal. Oh, I got the volume turned down on my headset. We gotta talk about Razor strength here at the end of the episode. Hopefully, I'll remember. It's been a long time. He says, "Look at those shoes, though. What brand is that?" He's gonna spike it. Shouldn't Hisoka like have his bungee gum on that shit? Okay, we got this like three-man wall here. They're gonna combine their nen into one to absorb it. To only have maybe one get knocked out. Do how many of them get knocked out? Shit. Did they all? Did they catch it? Number one, and did they all stay inside? He caught it. Can they step out willingly and still be allowed in? Oh, they made it. Okay, never mind. They're all still in. That was his like. That was his secret move, though. Yo, this graphic of like Hisoka sitting behind them. So what's his plan here? That was his super secret special move, and it got squandered in 15 seconds. He's got to have another like move, right? In my late 20s, she says. What are they, still 12, 13? I'd say there's got to be a response. That can't be Razor's super secret move that he hasn't used in forever, and that's it. But his plan in his head is just went way too confident, so I don't think. Well, where's he going to get more power from? All right, from within. His Killua's hands aren't bruised and blackened anymore, though. Is this his full power then, or is he still holding some back just in case this one doesn't work? I don't think we'll know. Oh, his eyes are opened. They were open. Killua wouldn't. He's not going to lose a hand permanently. Alright, he's putting that all in his fist. Sounds very Dragon Ball Z like right there. Yeah, what materials is ball made out of is my question. So what do you do? He really couldn't dodge that if he wanted to? Oh, he's focusing on all it. Yeah, if he shoots it up again, Hisoka's just gonna bungee gum it again. Oh shit. He's gonna sacrifice himself. Someone's gonna get hit. Somebody better move. He actually dodged. Wow. Oh, he didn't dodge. He just fucking passed out. Okay, I was about to say. Well, he's out then, right? Because he didn't catch it and throw it back. He received it and knocked it out of bounds. Why is he stopping that ball? Oh shit. Get it on back there one time. But to say we're just gonna have a flipping Serena Williams back and forth right here. It broke his arms. Oh no, it's stuck. If you go out, it's over. If he falls out, it's over. Oh, he's well out. So they would have won either way had that ball bounced off of him and went out of bounds. Razor loses, and then what just occurred? Razor lost as well. Think his fucking soles of his shoes got worn out. I was just about to say Did Gon finally learn and decide to dodge it and not go for his pride? But no, he straight up passed out. Oh. Answer the questions. What do you got? Tell him. We're gonna hear this conversation, right? He's not on the island. Fuck. Nor does he. You don't have that man's cell phone number or anything? Does anybody contact this man, or does he just live on that island with those beasts by himself? They clearly have seen each other. They made the island. They had to have had. Oh, hired him. My son will come here one day. How long ago was that? That's a good 20 years ago. No. So Gon had been born at this point, then I'm guessing, because he didn't know he'd have a son. He could have a daughter. So that was 13 years ago. His dad looked a lot younger there. They didn't really fight, though. I would have loved to see. I mean, Razor would kill Gon if they fought. Um, so we know they can't fight, but yeah, I get it. Look at his hand. Nobody knows this man's whereabouts. No one's got him on speed dial. He doesn't live with anybody. He doesn't like eat at a certain restaurant once a week. Like nobody has contact with this man. Okay, so that's over. And you guys told me it ends on episode 75, so we got this and four more. Is this some underground movie theater? What is this? So they did all that for nothing? So there's nothing there. Yeah, I was about to say, this isn't real, right? Or, like, what are we. Just a real girl hired to tell this story, or what? Oh, and there you go. Oh, she's the card. She was the NPC there. Well, he suck us out, right? That card means nothing to him. Yeah, he just came to help. He's out. You know what he wants. He wants his fruit to ripen. Yeah. Yeah, he's got other business to handle. I wonder if we'll see it handled in the next 4 episodes. Mm. Oh, someone contacted them. Bummer. They're gonna come steal the card. Put that shit away. Run. Leave. Do something. Get out. Nope, not doing it. Here's the thing. Real question here. Say they have a battle between books. Like I got my book open, you got your book open. Um, has he touched them? That's them right there, right? If people are battling it out book for book, can I just attack them? Um, like physically attack them with Nen and like beat or kill them while they're having a book. Like you can't. That's not like. Oh no, we'll talk about that after. You don't have the cards for like gone. This isn't a. Yeah, like what? You don't. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Finks. Oh, they found him. The guy that's been walking around with this flipping slug on his back. The copies are just as good as the real one, correct? Or you need the original? Because they said we'll make copies of them at once. Is that to deceive who has the real one? Or you can really make copies of the original card and they're just as valuable? Give it to them. That's what I'm saying. Like, when are his, like, selfish actions going to, like, fire back on him? If they had really showed up there, what was his option? What were you gonna do? Your hands aren't gonna heal in a week. My man right there is underrated. He is underrated. So you're gonna leave it with Hisoka? They could just leave. All right, they got 3 weeks. Now they're talking about defeating him through a card battle, correct? Or is this an actual fist to fist? It's gonna be a card battle, I think, right? He wouldn't be able to handle all them without it. Mm. Would have gone and Biscuit Crew gonna train? Yeah. All right. That ends up being the episode. All right. Boom. That's the episode. Couple questions. I'm just trying to make sure I think of off the top of my head. Um, so yeah, if I'm having a book battle with somebody, let's say Gon and Hisoka are having a book battle with cards, whatever. We know Hisoka has no cards. I'm just using them for examples. And could I mean, you can. Um, I could just have somebody physically attack you. Like I could just have Kilua and Bisky just straight up like come from the sides while you have your book out and your battle and just straight up like beat the shit out of you, correct? And then pretty much like torture you and force you into like not canceling my spell cards or letting me like take your cards, right? So like, could that be a plan that they set up? Like, yeah, let him show up and like have a book battle, but like we just ambush this man physically at the same time. And that might be like frowned upon, but that is a thing, right? That can happen, I would think. Um, Number two, that dude right there, I forget his name. I was talking to somebody about it in my comment section of episode 70. I feel like he could be and should be so OP, but I feel like he's not gonna have any weight to the story after this episode, after the Greed Island arc is over. But he's got straight flipping Minato Yellow Flash abilities, and I feel like nobody's talking about this. And then I saw somebody brought it up in my comment section, that man is OP, and I 100% agree. Like that man is being slept on. I don't know what his abilities are besides that. If he has a yeah, so somebody said I don't even know how you pronounce his name. Gorianu. He's one of the most underrated abilities in the show. Um, and I agree. I don't know the extent of his gorillas if they're able to actually spar, fight, defend. But let's say they're at least an extension of him. So maybe whatever his base like physical hand-to-hand combat skills are, they can match it at least. So if he's just a base 10 physical hand-to-hand combat wise, if his gorillas can match him at like an 8 or a 9 and then have that ability to swap things and people, am I the only one seeing this? Because no one's talking about that man like on any of my videos, and I think that man's abilities are great. Whenever you get into um what's the word I want to use for like Obito slash the guy from My Hero Academia, like the number one student who could be the new number one strongest hero. Whenever you get into time space slip techniques and transportation techniques and abilities, instant switches in time with things and people, I just feel like the possibilities are endless, you know? Um, so that's great. That's the thing I wanted to talk about, number two. And then number three, um, given, I mean, we saw how the episode ended right there. I made a comment like, oh, I wonder if Razor could take on, like, remove the dodgeball, remove the court. If it was just a fight between Razor, Gon, and Killua and Hisoka, could he take the three of them? I'd say overwhelming, a lot of you agreed that he could beat Gon and Killua by himself, but Hisoka would just be a whole different animal he wouldn't be able to handle. And then so I made the comment like, well, can we agree that like Razor and Hisoka are at least in the same ballpark? A lot of you said I'm underestimating Hisoka, which I feel like I probably am, just because like he started with us from the beginning, and we've kind of seen his ability slash some of them, but we haven't seen the extent of them, so I don't know where to put him. But at the same time, we haven't been introduced to just like a crazy lift of strong characters and seeing them fight. Like we've been introduced to the Phantom Troop and we know their abilities, but we haven't seen them in battle or be tested, you know? Besides Uvo who went against Kurapika, um that's all we've seen. Besides that, we've had them kidnapping things, taking things, stealing things, killing, but we didn't get Phantom Troop battles against Kurapika besides that. We didn't get all we got was Krollo versus the Zoldox, you know? So like right now, the Zoldox and Krollo is kind of like where we're holding because that's what we've seen on screen. I know people talk about Netero and Ging, and like we've talked about them, but we haven't seen them do anything. So like I've only seen what I've seen of Hisoka is what he did in the Hunter exam and what he did at the Heavens Arena. Yes, he's stronger than Gon and Kilo, but I don't know where he is. If we're using the Zoldock father and grandfather and Krollo up here because we've seen them on screen, with Krollo's full Nen abilities given back and his book access, where do we think, you know, if they're here, Hisoka's here, somewhere in the middle, or is he closer, like, he's just as strong as grandfather and father Zoldock? I don't know. And maybe you guys know that as manga readers or that have finished the story, but some of you are saying in the manga we're just now finding, or we just found out, or towards the end you find out how strong Hisoka is, and like I'm underestimating him, and maybe I am. I just haven't seen it. It'd be the same way like when you in other things when you get introduced to um, a Jiren or an Akatsuki group. Like you know they're strong because the story narrates and tells us they're strong, but until you see it, um, like I know Ging's strong. We've been heard he's a top five Nen user. So like Ging is like top five Nen user, he's like the peak, the pinnacle. So like I'm putting everybody below him. The reason I put Razor in the same, I'm not. I made this mistake of saying I'm not saying that Razor and Ging are on the same level. I would just like to think that Razor is somewhere in the ballpark of Ging. If they created the game together, I would think Razor's got to be somewhere, you know, relatively in sniffing reaching distance of Ging's ability. You would think. Um, but maybe it's not even close. Maybe it is not even close. We're talking lower tier, like criminal level to like a god status in the game. You're talking like an Akatsuki member compared to like a Hashirama. Like it's not even, you know, and maybe that's what it is. Like so, I don't know where Razor's abilities stand and fall. And you guys told me, unfortunately, we never see it. We never see kind of like the peak of his abilities. Um, so I don't know. Like so, if we remove Gon and Killua, and we had a Razor Hisoka fight, I feel like most of you tell me Hisoka would win. But on the flip side, I feel like we'd say Hisoka would win because we don't know Razor's abilities. But at the same point, we know how strong some of the Phantom Troop members are, and some of you have told me that like some of the members one on one could beat or kill Hisoka. We've had comments about, we've talked about that in other videos. Um, and then so when Sphinx acknowledged when they like washed up on the island off the boat, like, oh, this guy's strong. When they acknowledged that, like internally, I was like, oh, well, he's got to be, some kind of strong, if he's being acknowledged by one of the troop members. So that's all I'm saying about that. But yeah, I'll get off that. We turned this into a 30-minute video. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about. We'll see what they do here in 3 weeks with this card battle and everything. We'll wrap it up here. I'm interested. I really am curious to see what the next arc is. I mean, we're coming up on episode 80 here, guys. We got about 60 episodes left. We're past the halfway point. Um, so yeah, you guys will see this Monday. Code Geass episode 5 or 6. Episode 5 and 6 will be up this week on Patreon. We're going to start taking some votes on other things to watch and react to. And we'll go from there. So like, share, favorite, subscribe, guys. And as always,